If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you may have seen a post with a certain Fila snowboard boot and a certain Fila snowboard jacket. Those were fake. I bought FilaSnowboarding.com. That's for other reasons. But I'm still holding out that Fila is going to be the next big brand in snowboarding. They already make outerwear. I see people with it on the hill. It looks awful.
Yeah, it does.
It does. But I did it as a joke, and then it kind of turned into something a little more serious because the company that owns Fila, the parent company from China, won the bid for the Olympic uniforms for the 2022 games.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that Fila Snowboarding happens because they want to buy the domain name, and I will sell that to them for 6 figures. That's my down payment on a house. So
Fila Snowboarding, not a real thing yet.
But I still believe that it could happen, and the reaction from people was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Because you had people like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. And they're like, a lot of it was, what was funny was like regional pro riders and Man-Ams and shit, and be like, I can fuck with this.
Yeah, right?
Fila, get at me.
Yeah, seriously.
Like the amount of people that were like, yo, I want this. Blew my mind.
I ride some Fila boots. Maybe. I know, so the thing is, Fila is what it is. I actually know a fair amount of people that like work on their feet all day that absolutely love their shoes. So, I mean, they got something going.
Right.
Can they turn that into a snowboard boot? I don't know.
I don't know either. But the fact that my friend was able to Photoshop it really quick and we got it on the internet as a joke.
And it looked pretty damn
until
good.
you blew it up.
Good job.
When you blew it up, you realized that it was like a women's ride sage.
It was a ride sage, yeah.
Yeah, the all-white one. But he put the colorway on it, and then we did the fake mock-up jacket. Yeah, we did it as a joke. I don't have a problem with that. Like, you got to keep people on their toes. But the reaction was funny.
Yeah,
it tells you how like times have changed and how people would be like, fuck with that, which is really weird to me.
I know.
So, I don't know. Like, but you look at it, like I said, that Chinese company owns them. They've won the bid, and then you see the next that other Chinese Consortium buying Salomon and Atomic,
right?
Which maybe that's the nail in the coffin for Salomon snowboards. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Salomon's in such a weird, bad spot.
I think it could just be some rejiggering going on the office side, which, to be completely honest, is probably a good thing. And I don't know who their product line manager is, but he's not doing a good job.
Oh god, their marketing is awful. Their website is awful. Like, dealing with them is just fucking awful.
Yeah, they're French, and that really says it. They're just French. But
I'm French.
Yeah, but like they're
really,
like
really French.
French.
I know.
And they're just hard people to deal with, and they just have these ideas in their heads that you can't change. Basically, anytime I've ever dealt with any person with a brand that their home offices are all in France, that's always been the answer I've always gotten is, yeah, it's the French. Like, they just get these ideas in their head, and they will not step away from them at all.
Now they're Chinese.
Yeah,
who knows what they're doing?
Exactly. So, the other crazy thing is, I'm wondering how much of that is basically the same process as that K2 just went through. Because like K2 was not bought for K2 skis or Marker or Vocal. They were bought for Wrangler, not Wrangler. Wrangler? No.
Rollins.
Thank you. I had the syllables were almost there. Rollins. They were bought for Rollins, and there was another one in there, but Coleman. Rollins and Coleman. That is why whoever bought K2. So Amer, who is the parent company for Salomon, also owns Louisville Slugger.
Yeah.
And there's another one. They have another one too that's massive. Not that Salomon's small, but the one I'm curious about, because I actually saw this article on the bike side, because Amer also owns Mavic wheels and Envy components. So I'm curious to see what happens with Envy, because I can't imagine Envy's really making that much money because they're just making ludicrously expensive carbon wheels. But, so, yeah, the little brands that Amer owns, are they going to be cut? What's going to happen to, like, some Sunto watches? What's going to happen to Salomon Snowboards? What's going to happen to all those little subsidiaries? What's going to happen to Armada?
I don't know. And the funny thing
Yeah.
is like, this is Anta that is buying them, and I'm pretty sure that's actually the company that owns Fila. So
Wow, man, because that means Arc'teryx is going to be under the same company. Are they just going to make really high-end Fila?
You remember when the first round of Adidas boots came out? They did that limited run of 50 of them, and it was Salomon that did it.
Yep.
This is how it's going to be. Salomon's going to do the Fila boots.
Salomon is going to do Fila boots. We photoshopped the wrong boots.
I did. Oh my god, it's too fucking funny. But I just, we just need to get used to the fact the Chinese are going to start buying everything. Like they own Volvo, they own a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They own most of our national debt, and we should all learn Mandarin. We're fucked.
Yeah.
But it's just to see what they're going to do is.
It's going to be interesting to see if this. I mean, maybe they do nothing. Maybe they just wanted it under their portfolio. I don't know, but.
They could. You never know.
See if anything does change, and if things do change, it'll be interesting to see what changes.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, it's the Chinese sportswear company Anta, and then Fountain Vest Partners, a Hong Kong private equity group, which Hong Kong, that could be anything over there. But
I mean, Hong Kong is a tax haven, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So
I should look into that. But I mean,
at that point, it literally could be anybody that's really bought those. Right.
It's just. Blows my mind. Well, the purchase. This is the thing. It's not clear what the point of the purchase is from China, the Chinese company, to do this and what they're trying to do. It's like, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I mean, for Salomon snowboards, it could probably actually be a good thing.
It could be.
Fucking who knows what they're doing? Yeah. Like. I know Bodie still rides for him, and then you got the Midnich brothers, and then I'm like, is Grenier still sponsored? I see Desiree is, but
Grendy's blew up at Dew Tour this year.
Did he?
Yeah, they somebody got hurt, and he was team captain,
so he had to fill in.
So he had to fill in, and he rolls into the jumps and just knuckled a face slam on like the second jump on a 540, and then they're interviewing him. He's like, I don't know. So, whoever got hurt, and I had to step up, and that's my first time hitting those jumps. Like, just full Grandy mode, and it was great. Like, mad respect to Chris Grenier for that, because that was sick. To go into Dew Tour and hit those features blind is insane. It's insane. So, that was sick. But yeah, like, I mean, he's basically Freedom Frontier with
Alex Andrews.
Like, that's basically what Grande's got going on now. And then there's Louis.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Louis.
But really, and then, they still have Wole, they still have Takanakai, so they still have a couple other riders, but, like, they haven't really been as relevant. I mean, basically ever since Jed dropped off, they haven't really been relevant.
Right.
Not nearly as much as they used to.
My whole thing is, like, you don't see much of their product getting reviewed outside the mags anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, they don't work with the smaller people that have the bigger influence.
Yeah, they've gotten kind of either complacent or stagnant, depending on.
It's okay. Maybe they'll bring back Atomic Snowboards. I'd be okay with that.
Maybe
we'll have a whole new run of Atomic Hatchets. Mm-hmm. $189 price point, greatest jib board ever for park out there. I'll ride them all the time. I'll be like, it broke. It was $180. I bought it on Pro Form for like $45. I don't even care.
You heard it here, Atomic. Bring back the hatchet.
Oh God, just fucking. If we do that line of Angrysnowboarder boards, I gotta go dig up the Atomic catalog and be like, these are the specs and this is it. Just slap this graphic on it and we'll call it good. Like, just, that's it. Fucking mellow ass cambered fucking park board you could do anything on. I fucking love that thing. Mm-hmm. And 3 of them. Fucking love that board. It was funny when I was in New Jersey, I stopped by my friend Kay's place and he's got one in his closet. I was just like, fucking thing looks pristine. I was like, what, can I just steal this? Like, I was looking around like, can I just put this in the back of the car and just drive off with it and be like, I don't know what happened.
He's not going to notice.
Maybe not. It's not like New Jersey has any snow right now.
Yeah.
It was fucking 60 when I left.
There you go.
At Christmas.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I didn't see snow until I hit Nebraska.
That's sad.
And even then it was just in a culvert. But which, by the way, People in the Midwest need to learn the left lane is for fucking passing. If I'm coming up on your ass at 100, you do not sit in that left lane. You get the fuck out of my way.
I think life is just too slow in the Midwest.
Well,
man.
oh my God. Fucking the reason they call them flyover states. I never want to go there again. If I have to drive back to New York because someone in my family died or anything like that, I'm going north and then east. I'm just bypassing all that bullshit.
There you go.
I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go through Wyoming. That's not on the way. I'll be like, I'm making it on the way. I'm going to Jacksonville. That is really not on the way. It's going to be on the way. Just trust me. I don't even give a fuck.
Yep.
It is so freaking absurd. Yeah, oh my God, it just blows my mind how bad of drivers they were. But I would be okay with Fila Snowboarding being a real thing. And yes, I did buy FilaSnowboarding.com.
Like, that's not a lie.
That is not a lie. I legitimately own that domain name, much like the 75 other ones that I keep buying, because someone will say that they want it. If you don't register it and you mention it, I'm going to buy the damn thing and I'm going to park it. Or I'm going to reroute it to like Angry Snowboarder VIP or Angry Snowboarder Store or to my YouTube channel, to whatever. I'll reroute one to Kevin's Instagram. I don't even care.
That's weird.
Maybe that's what I'll do with Fila Snowboarding. They'll just go to your Instagram.
People are going to be so confused.
Oh, yeah. There's
like
nothing
snowboarding, bikes, and wiener dogs. What does this have to do with Fila?
Don't even worry. I've actually got it rerouted to some crappy-ass Fila video on YouTube because I was going to do it as part of a bigger plan. I need to change where that domain name routes.
Yeah, maybe.
But, hey, Fila, if you want to buy that domain name, hit me up. Let's talk.
You know where to get at us.
But, yeah, then to go into last month's podcast, I did have people hit us up after we had talked about Goodwood and Blackboard, asking about the White Lines and other publications gear list and why we didn't talk about them. I'll tell you why I didn't talk about White Lines, because I don't give a fuck about those guys. Thank God they haven't plagiarized me this year. Those guys used to plagiarize me all the fucking time, and when I call them out, they would threaten me and be like, we're going to sue you. And I was like, okay, bring it, motherfucker. I don't even care. Fuck those guys. They're a bunch of no-talent ass clowns. Like, just, I don't know. You did more research on this topic than I did.
Yeah, I did a little more digging into it, and a little bit more. I mean, one of the things, I went and picked a couple boards that I've ridden or own to read their thoughts on it. And, that's usually one of the easiest ways to figure out whether somebody has their head in their ass or not, is to read a review of something that I know really well. And so one of the ones I read was the Ravine. And they got it kind of right, but the guy was also complaining about the width, which, sure, it's a little bit of a wider board, for his 43s, a Euro 43, which is about a 9. I wear an 8, and I ride the 58, and I ride it like it's a park deck. So, I don't know, buck up, learn how to use your boot. And I ride a DC tuck knee, which is a noodle boot. It's got, like, hardly any support to it, so I don't know. Why do you suck? Why can't you put it on edge? It's easy to put on edge.
Yeah,
not hard at all.
I tend to just not even pay attention to anything White Line says. And
the one big thing that so they had a video of like their top 5 powder boards, which, I mean, a pow deck's a pow deck for the most part. As long as it's not a shitty shape, it's gonna float. But he had them on the table. You couldn't see anything, and he never showed you the whole board. Like, it was just weird.
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, come on. Our first run of product review videos, I just put photos up.
Yeah, but at least you could see the whole damn thing.
That's true.
He literally just had these on a table, and you could see, like, the middle part of the board from insert to insert, and he'd, like, shift it over. Like, on the Battalion Surfer, he shifted it over and showed you the swallowtail, and, like, you were like, okay, kind of know what the board looks like, but you never actually saw the whole board. Which
is kind of funny, because they have way more... Like, if we had 1/100th of their budget, we could do so much more than they could.
Dude, it's just ridiculous.
Like, it's absurd to me how companies with so much budget and spend so much money can't do simple little things. And I don't pay attention to any other magazines. Like, I try not to pay attention to the magazines. I've hit that point where I'm like, you cannot trust them. They're not good. I'm fucking over it. And the White Lines one, I don't care. It's kind of like the Outside Online, a publication that has written numerous times about the death of snowboarding and talked about, basically they don't give a fuck about snowboarding, but they figured out a way to make some money off of it right now, doing it. And so they put out they changed the title of this, but it was The Greatest Snowboards of All Time. And then they changed the title to reflect that it was just the best snowboards for park powder and everything in between. And their list was so fucking wonky.
So ridiculous.
You know, I mean, like, their favorite snowboard, the Western Japan, yeah, it's a great powder board. It's fun to carve, and I agree with it on that. But then they were like, best all-mountain snowboard, Jones Mind Expander. Best freeride board, GNU Mueller. Yeah, sorry, it's an okay board. Best all-mountain freestyle snowboard, Never Summer Shaper Twin. Whatever. Best powder snowboard, Burton Day Trader.
Which, I made a specific note on that one. The only thing that hints to that being a women's board is the fact that Kimi Fasani's name is mentioned. Other than that, they don't mention that it's actually a women's board.
Yeah.
So, continue.
Best women's specific board, Rosnell Diva LF. I mean, yeah, it's a good board. It's basically the one mag women's version.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very versatile board. You can put just about anyone on as long as they're not a beginner. Best women's custom snowboard, Franco Snow Shape Squash Tail Custom. And then there's no men's custom picked. It's like just a really wonky list.
It's a very strange list. And on top of that, like, what a lot of people don't seem to understand, and I touched on this with the Blackboard experiment comments as well, is that you're not making this list for your favorite snowboarder. Like, that's not how these lists work. That doesn't help consumers. You need to be making the best list for somebody that's trying to buy a snowboard. And realistically, the other big thing is Outside Magazine clearly has a shit's clue who their audience is.
Oh, yeah, no.
If you're going to Outside Magazine to buy a snowboard, if you're looking for them for advice to buy a snowboard, none of those boards are good for you.
No.
Not one of them. I guess maybe the Diva might be all right. But at that point, like, you need to have the Arbor Formula, the K2 Ray Gun, those are the only two that come to mind right now. Easy shit to ride.
You know, stuff
basic. Yeah, stuff like that. A Salomon Sleepwalker, like those. Those are the boards that you need to be talking about on Outside Magazine because that's your clientele. Those are the people coming to you for snowboard advice, or the people that should be on those boards, not the Weston Japow. There's not a single person reading Outside Mag looking for advice on snowboards from you that should be on a Weston Japow or a Mind Expander as an all-mountain board. Are you insane?
Well, I feel like I saw that as a prime example yesterday at Copper when I was riding with Brucey. I saw a girl trying to ride park on the biggest Mind Expander. Like, she looked like she did not even know how to get the thing on edge, and she was trying to hit the dad park.
Yeah, like
I watched her try to go into a rail, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like,
Yeah,
I'll hit rails with powder boards because I find it funny, and it always looks weird when you're doing.
Know how to snowboard.
It always looks weird when you nose press a cool bean through a DFD.
Yeah.
People are like, "What the fuck is that?" And you're just like,
yeah, it's hilarious.
But yeah,
like the Mind Expander specifically, that one really is the one that probably pissed me off the most because they called it the all mountain board, and
it's not.
It is the more all mountain version of the Surf Rocker stuff from Jones.
Yeah.
But I said it in there. It's Surf Rocker,
Sure.
And it's gnarly stiff.
Well,
the board's wicked stiff, and it's full rocker.
Right. This is the one that blows my mind. They went to Crested Butte last year for this test, which Crested Butte had one of the worst seasons ever. I talked to people down there, and they were like, they were coming up here, and they're like, "You have so much better coverage than us." And I was like, "How bad is it?" And they go, "You see the photos where it looks like there's snow? 3 feet from there, it's just grass."
Yeah.
Like, they were angling everything, but they had 30 testers and 86 boards, which we put up 254 board reviews last year.
Yeah, the other thing
is
they also state that in those 86 boards, they picked one men's, only one women's, and a wild card. So maybe another men's or women's.
Yeah.
And roughly figure that gives you about 30 brands. Which, again, the type of person that's coming to Outside Mag to buy a snowboard, they don't need to know about all those teeny little brands that get you up above 15. The 15 number one brands are the only brands you guys should be considering for this. And realistically, if you've got 30 testers, that's a shit ton of people to test these snowboards. So get more boards. 86 boards? Are you kidding me?
86 boards. 30 testers. Goodwood doesn't even have 30 testers, and they still managed to ride 200 boards.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Right. We'll call that loosely.
Yeah.
That's a questionable statement right there I made. But this shit is what pisses me the fuck off with all these publications, because I remember when I first did my very first snowboard review for snowboard.com. I was 21 years old. 21. I am 36. That's 15 years ago. I remember that. And I remember how no one was doing them. And I see where everything is, and now I just sit here and go, oh my God, it's like 10, 12 years ago when no one knew what the fuck they were talking about trying to do this shit, and I'd have to be like, you're wrong. This is why. And I'm getting too old to keep having that fight every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, this is why you should always try to find a publication you trust. I don't care who it is. If you trust them and you believe in their judgment and you understand what they're saying, go with it. I don't have a problem with that. But just make sure that they're not regurgitating marketing spiel, or they're just pulling shit out of their ass for whatever company is advertising for them.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I'm not going to lie. The only company that advertises with us that pays anymore is Rosnell, and they literally pay for us to do weird video projects, like grinding through board bases, taking rental boards in the park. That's literally what they do. Tom from Rosnell's like, here's your check, give me your ad dimensions, and half the time he won't even send me ads, and then he's like, just make cool shit and we'll be happy. Yeah. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, you got a problem with me putting a board through a belt grinder? Nope, all right, cool. It's like, you have a problem with me taking a hammer to a board? No, he's fine with it.
Yeah, he didn't care.
They paid us. They don't even pay us a lot of money. They literally paid, in the grand scheme of things, the monetary value that we got paid from Rosnell this year, we made more off affiliate sales last month than we made from Rosnell for a whole year of advertising. Mm-hmm. We made more in a month from that. 4 months of YouTube is more than we make from Rosnell. So I love that they give us that cash influence, and the money they gave us this year is going to go to hopefully doing a whole trick tip series with one of their riders. And he's a coach, and he knows how to break it down. But some of these magazines, you can literally be like, oh yeah, that was bought, that was bought, that was bought, and that was bought.
And somebody out there looking for an all-mountain board bought a mind expander because of this.
Yeah, and now they're realizing when they get on firm snow that nose isn't catching and it's just sliding around and they're skittering and just chattery. Great board. Love the mind expander. It's a fucking amazing board. Wouldn't ride it for all mountain.
No, not for all mountain.
No. It's got limitations. Sorry. Oh well. Time for the next topic.